high-value feminine woman embraces her body insecurities and dresses accordingly. Hi, my name is Unique Sibanda and I am your style concierge and also your digital dating coach here on the Black Swan Relationship Academy. And welcome to another session. So good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on what time you're watching this and what your time zone is. So for those who don't know who I am, Unique Sibanda, I am your style concierge here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy. I am also your digital dating coach. And what that means is I help you curate some amazing images for your personal profile. I also help you show up in a way that translates to you being this high value feminine woman that every high value masculine man would want to swipe right on, right? If they're not swiping right, they just like, right? So I have a background in personal branding, and this is my passion, that because I get to marry pretty much everything I do, the styling as a fashion designer as well, the styling, the branding, the showing up online and in these digital spaces, because this is where, unfortunately or fortunately, the world is going. So before we go into all of that, like I said last week, we will talk a little bit more about how you show up online, how you present online, how you signal online, because we're not in the days where we could throw a handkerchief and a guy picks it up. We can't do all those little subtleties. We have to do that online now. So I will be helping you and guiding you through that process of how to show up as a high value woman and signaling those high value masculine men that we want. Anyway, back to today's topic, which is how a high-value feminine woman embraces her body's insecurities and dresses accordingly. Let's start off with the whole thing of body insecurity. We live in a very digital age, in an age of comparison and competition, and we are blasted with images constantly that reflect who we should be, that reflect what we should look like, that reflect how our hair should be, how our makeup should be, how our eyes should be, how this should be. No doubt, even in the comments, you'll get critics talking about how my hair was out of place in one video, how, little things like that. It's like we all have expectations of each other, because that is what we've been taught. That is the kind of culture that we are growing up in at the moment. That is the prevailing world culture. And even in the little smaller groups, because of the rise of the digital spaces like Instagram, Facebook, online dating becoming a thing that where more than 50% of people who are singles who are dating are finding themselves having to go on dating apps. The good thing about all of this is that, yes, these are all tools that help us connect and communicate better. The unfortunate part is that we are now then losing that important thing of how we actually connect. So let's go back to the topic. I tend to divert a little because I'm excited. I'm excited about pretty much, where this whole thing is going, where this whole sphere is going, where this whole digital new age is going. And before I forget, like I always do, like the video. You don't even have to subscribe. Okay, well, yeah, would prefer you did. But what that does, it helps the algorithm actually then share the video for us, because it gets that many likes and people actually say, oh, this is a nice topic. And then YouTube goes on and tells everybody that this is what you should be watching. But yes, definitely like and subscribe and comment and share and do all of that YouTube lovely stuff. Okay, let's get serious. Let's talk about our insecurities. So predominantly this channel is watched by ladies over a certain age. Over time, we tend to get insecurities, and with each decade, I am in my 45 years right now. So each decade has presented different things that my body is insecure about. I never used to have love handles, which is, the side fupa. I never used to have those, but in my 40s, that is where I seem to be carrying my weight. That is where I seem to be carrying my fat. And that has created a lot more not more, but different insecurities about how I then carry my body. So with that, I have had to learn. Thank God I have the advantage that I can actually, style myself in a different way. I have had to learn how to then focus on different areas of my body to accentuate those and then bring about and still be comfortable in who I am. Because this is the one body I have, right? Like all of us, and I think I mentioned it last time, I don't believe in the whole sizing thing. Let's talk about that for a minute. The whole thing about the sizing industry started because we need the fashion industry needed to manufacture at mass. It needed to mass produce clothing so that it could get a little bit more profitable, because before you'd go to a tailor, you'd get fitted, you'd have to come back for fittings, and it took about 2-3 weeks or even 6 weeks to 8 weeks just to get one garment made. Even the simplest of garments took forever because they were hand sewing. So when the machinery industry revolution came about, there were now ways to actually manufacture things at mass production. So the idea of sizing came about just for the benefit of mass production. It was not meant to define what a size 8 should be, or size 9, or size 10, or super 16, or plus 16, or whatever. I honestly believe that when it comes to sizing, no one is ever a perfect 8. If you literally look at, because I do pattern cutting as well, the thing is, when you look at a pattern, the perfect hourglass size 8 figure would be at 34, 30 waist and a 34 hip. You'll never find anyone who's exactly those measurements at all given times. We fluctuate, our bodies change, our bodies gain extra fupa when we're at that time of the month. We summertime, some of our feet swell, we get water retention. You are never a perfect whatever size you are. So let's just start off with that, and understanding that your body changes and fluctuates with your seasons and fluctuates with your times. So body insecurities really only come from the fact that we are comparing ourselves to what we see in the media. We're comparing ourselves to our friends. We're comparing ourselves to what we think we should be having on us. But the truth about body insecurity and being feminine woman is we embrace our faults. We embrace what we perceive as our faults, because some of these only come from traumas or statements that may have been passed. I have an insecurity about my behind, and I used to work for it, and that only comes from being within a particular Christian environment where I was told to cover that up, where I was told that it could cause a man to fall, where I was told, and unfortunately, it's part of my genes. Where I come from, most women do have a rather derriere, it's rather juicy. And it's only because butts are now on trend, sorry to use part of my French, derrieres are now on trend, so it's now seen to be sexy to have a butt. But when I was growing up, it was an object of shame. So growing up, I would always cover up my bottom, so I would always cover up my back. I'd wear jackets, I'd wear shirts that covered up, and I'd never really accepted that part of me. So when it comes to body insecurities and the feminine and high value way of dressing accordingly, is firstly accepting those flaws as part of who you are. We need to appreciate our bodies for whatever and what state they are in. They are where they have got us this far. They have allowed us to experience life so far. A feminine woman embraces whatever changes are going through and is able to maintain a sense of accountability as well. We don't blame everybody else for the amount of food we've eaten, for the amount of exercise we did not have, for the amount of things that we should have done but we didn't do. But we take responsibility and accountability for our state of where our body is. And we work with that. We embrace the insecurities and take note of them. So speaking back on how my insecurity was my derriere, For some of those who don't know what a derriere is, it's like your bright future that's behind you. That future, the future that's behind you, that's kind of extended. That's very Kim Kardashian-y like. So, or better, a bigger. So in me being on this journey, having taken the soulmate attraction, having done the work, the inner work that was needed, it was now to do the outer work, where you get to accept your flaws. You get to accept the gaps in your teeth. You get to accept your squonky teeth. You get to accept you also get to accept all of you in all your entirety. And that is the journey of a feminine woman. We know we are not perfect, but we embrace it. We know we are not like God's gift to this planet and we walk around being entitled. No, we accept everything we are. And then we dress accordingly. So the dressing accordingly part, when you are confident within yourself, it shows in your posture. It shows in the way we show up in the world. And when we say dressing accordingly, it's like you're dressing to your confidence level. You're dressing to the woman you're becoming. You start to enjoy that journey. I think in a live with the Black Swan Nation, I did mention that go shopping when you now have an idea of what works for you. Go shopping when you are at your highest, when you're ovulating because your pheromones and your hormones are in their happy space. You're at your feminine peak, as it were. And you will tend to buy clothes that make you feel happy and make you feel like you're in this space of constant femininity because you're at your highest. So the dangers of what we tend to do sometimes as women is we shop when we're feeling insecure. We shop when we're on our period in a bad mood. And we shop as a comfort thing, when really we should be shopping to accentuate the beauty of who we are already. So in this video, what I have been talking about really is just embracing your feminine insecurities. And that is what feminine is all about. It's about embracing, right? We are accepting, we are embracing, and it's part of our feminine journey. So to help you on this feminine journey and to show up as the most amazing, high value feminine woman that you truly are, if you'd like to have a consultation with me, the links are all in the description below. Book a consultation with me. Let's talk about your online profile. Let's get to see how you can switch it up a little bit, how your poses really kind of attract the kind of man that you're attracting, and what kind of online apps are you using, and what kind of man are you signaling, because all of this will be evidenced in the man that come towards you, in the man that show up in your inboxes, in the man that that show up just basically on your in your digital spaces. Literally, the way personally I can honestly hand on heart say I have really enjoyed online dating. I've met some amazing high value men, and don't get me wrong, I have had episodes where it was, what is going on here? Like, what the heck? Who, like how, why me, Lord? Why me? Kind of situations, you know? But it then reflected on the kind of energy I was giving off. It reflected on where I was in my confidence levels. It reflected on what insecurities I was going through. And we also talk about the need to take breaks of online dating. If you would like a little bit more on this and help with your profile, definitely join the Black Swan Nation. There's also a Nice Girl Rehab coming up. Chengi is working so hard on that. It is a free masterclass. Free masterclass. I said it's a free masterclass because some of them do cost a bit. This is a free masterclass that will help you really change all those nice little things that you thought were being nice, but really just sabotaging yourself and your dating life and trying to get into who you want to be. So with that, I know today has been kind of a little bit more serious topic. Insecurities are definitely not a light thing to look at. And I also add a caveat to that. I talked about my personal insecurities. We all have different insecurities and different ways to handle them. If you have insecurities about your body as well, style also helps elevate those things that you feel really insecure about. The one thing I always say, whenever you focus on your fupa, it becomes a little bit more elevated and in your face, and you start to see it a lot more. Whereas when you style yourself different, you could actually distract the eye from that, and it becomes less of a thing. We are also going to be incorporating fitness within the SWAN Nation. I am so looking forward to that, because yeah, trying to do this whole thing on your own is not easy. So, lest I digress, let me leave you this Friday and leave a comment. Let me know what you want to talk about. Ask any questions, because I have seen some of the questions that you've been asking, and most of them are around your body insecurities and how do you then show up even with those insecurities online. How are we doing this, ladies? So those are the things that we can talk about. So book a consultation if you want to get your styling in tune, get your wardrobe in check for autumn or summer, depending on where you are in the world. Let's talk. Okay. I am your style concierge. My name is Unique Sibanda, and also your online dating coach. Let's catch up over the week. I will be coming back and forth to read your comments, and yeah, if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Let's get interactive, and I will see you again next Friday. You have yourselves an amazing weekend. It is sunny here in London, so I'm going out. And I will catch you on a later. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, the whole YouTube shebang. And I will catch you next week. Mwah, 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 mwah. You have yourselves an amazing weekend. Love you.